Okay, as it sometimes happens on the show, we will have problems with last minute guest cancellations, and today was one of those days. So, in order to not delay production of the show, which would be hugely disrespectful to our audience, we're going to take a few phone calls. There are a lot of people who want to get on today and see what is on people's minds. Of course, the phone number is always 617-830-4750. Let's go first to our caller from the 520 area code. 520, what's your name and where are you calling from today?
Hey, what's up, David? This is Justin calling from Albuquerque.
Hey, Justin, what's going on?
Hey, I was just wondering your opinion on people who become sort of apolitical for one reason or another. Um, like I've met quite a few people who like sort of fell for the Donald Trump uh, rhetoric, and they just like decide that politics is evil in general.
Hmm.
So, do you think that it would be worth trying to talk those people back into politics?
Well, so
Or do
when
you
you say
think
they
that,
fell for Trump, did they vote for Trump and then after voting for him say they're no longer engaging with politics? What do you mean?
yeah, I mean, anecdotally, but in several cases of people I've met, they voted for Trump, or they just decided that Trump and Hillary were equivalent. And I could see how they came to that conclusion, because when I was younger, I could maybe fall for that kind of mindset. Um, but I was just wondering if you thought it would be worth trying to talk them into politics, or if they would maybe fall for the same sort of rhetoric.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what I think is important to explain to those folks. In the same way that not voting is not a neutral act, when you don't vote, that is a proactive decision you make not to participate, and it does tend to help Republicans. So if you're saying I'm just not going to vote and I'm staying out of it, you're actually typically helping the more conservative candidate in most places, who often is a Republican. In primaries, you end up helping often the most extreme Republican. In the same way, you can opt out of participating in the electoral process. You can't really opt out of politics. I mean, if you don't live in the middle of nowhere, in a completely disconnected way in some kind of state of nature in rural northern Alaska or something like that, and even then this may not even apply, you are subject to what is going on politically. If you're in touch with the financial system, if you have a job, if you earn money, if you have a house, whatever, you are involved in politics. You might be choosing not to participate electorally, but I think the point I would make to people when they say I'm just not involved in politics is you're involved in politics. You're just choosing not to try to influence what that looks like. But either way, you're involved and affected by it. That's the reality. You can't really not be.
Yeah, I mean that's a great point, but um, like, do you think that people kind of avoid politics for like emotional reasons or
Sure.
well-being
Yeah,
reasons?
absolutely. I
So
mean,
it'd be
listen,
bad
it's
to like,
exhausting. It's exhausting. And particularly now, it's extremely depressing. And, from the time I'm done with the Friday show until the weekend ends and I start preparing the Monday show, I pay attention to no news in politics. And it's particular. I understand the instinct. I just think it all ultimately comes down to you're affected by politics no matter whether you participate or not. And it's a question of, do you want to have a say or don't you? But either way, you are going to suffer from the repercussions of the decisions made by those who are participating.
and if I could quickly ask a follow-up, like if you get the sense that someone is avoiding politics for those emotional reasons, do you think that it would be bad to try to talk them into this? Because from my perspective, things have just gotten so intense that, like, it's like you said, you have to be involved, but you have to
I
talk
mean,
them
listen, I would be
into
empathetic.
being involved.
I
And
would say I would be empathetic. I would say I understand that. What I would encourage them to consider is that the short-term increased involvement, if we all did it, might give us significant longer-term significantly better longer-term circumstances during which we can focus on other areas of our lives without having to be so worried about what it is that's going on in Washington. That's the argument I would make. Justin, thank you. I really appreciate the call. I've got a bunch of people holding, so I'm going to let you go, but I do hope to hear from you again.